Welcome, everyone, to the Commentary Podcast. I am your host, Pat Brennan. Today on the podcast, we are going to be rewatching The Bourne Identity. It was released in 2002. It is directed by Doug Liman, and it is written by Tony Gilroy and William Blake Herron. The film stars Matt Damon, Franca Potente, Chris Cooper, Clive Owen, Brian Cox, Gabriel Mann, and Julia Stiles. In the film, Jason Bourne, who's played by Matt Damon, suffers from psychogenic amnesia and is forced to fight to unlock his identity and his mysterious connection to the CIA. Joining me for this rewatch is once again my good friend Vikash Patel. He's joined me numerous times so far. He's part of the director series that I'm doing. So you're going to see him a lot on this podcast, but I'll once again drop all of his social channels and his own podcast in the episode bio, so you can check him out there. Now, I'm going to be watching the Blu-ray copy I have of this movie, but it is unfortunately not currently streaming anywhere on any subscription services, but you can rent it on Apple for $4, on Vudu for $4, and on Amazon for $4. So I say we get things started. We are going to be pressing play on The Bourne Identity in 3, 2, and 1.
This might be my favorite Universal logo, honestly, because it's nostalgic and it's got the juice.
Yeah.
Like, it's just crisp.
Because they probably first used it Jurassic Park, no? Because it always reminds you of Jurassic Park whenever I see it.
Okay. I mean, Universal. Universal and Fox probably have the two best for me.
Oh yeah. Did you ever read these like books?
I never read the Ludlums.
I remember I was like, when I first saw this movie when this came out in like 2002, I was like, I want to read the book. I was like 10. So like my mom actually bought me the book. I was like, I don't know any of half of these words. Like, what are these words?
Oh,
because I was like, I'm too young to understand this book. Like,
I read the Patriot Game and all those books because the Jack Ryan books because of the movies.
Yeah, I was like, I don't really understand what's going on in this book.
I always remember reading about this though, that Tony Gilroy never read the books. Like Doug Liman was like, don't read the books. I've got an outline for you. Just do this for me. And I'm just like, okay, I guess that works. Because Tony Gilroy is not exactly, he's a great writer, amazing writer, but he has no problem not doing the regular thing, which I always respect.
Yeah, I always feel like I hate when I have like a kind of I don't know, pet peeve with it, but people are like, "Oh, the book's better." It's like, I mean, as a movie, you kind of have to make it different. Like if it's shot for shot, like dialogue for dialogue, the same exact thing. Like, did the writer do anything? Like, he just literally just put it in like a format of like, all right, here's the dialogue.
I'm listening to the score right now from John Powell. Man, this theme for Bourne is one of the best.
So good.
A quick aside. At Universal, they used to play this score at night. Like they're doing like a pre-show prep for like a end of the night fireworks show or something, and they'd always have this score on and like Gladiator. And I'm just like, these are the vibes.
Oh yeah, I love this score. Because I mean, he carries it over into like 2 and
all 3 of them,
like the same. Yeah,
probably in
this
4 too.
This and the second one are like the score is very very similar.
Yeah. Which one's your favorite out of the 3? Not to like say it right off the jump.
Like, I was just about to ask you that. Mine's always been Supremacy.
It's been Supremacy? Mine's been Ultimatum.
Really? I know. I feel like I'm in like the minority, but I love Supremacy. I think that's the best one.
My problem with that one is that I think the camera work got tad bit too crazy. That's it.
I think that's my problem with Ultimatum. Sometimes the camera work is a tad crazy for that one.
But I don't know. I see, that's the thing, is a personal opinion thing at that rate. Especially with this like handheld work. And I think Barry Ackroyd and Paul Greengrass really ran with it with like Captain Phillips afterwards. But this is Oliver Wood, and he was just a consummate DP, and he's done a lot of different work. I love this. It's been, a couple minutes. There's been no dialogue, but you're sucked in. Just in what the heck is going on with this dude?
It's Matt Damon. I mean, they took a huge gamble on Damon to do this.
Oh, I
because he
know.
was like
They were I read it was
not an
Brad
action
Pitt. I
star
was
at
like,
all. Yeah,
thank God it wasn't Brad Pitt, honestly.
because he's like Matt Damon at this point. He'd done no action movies really, so you're taking a big risk on this.
And this shaped his career. It really did. I mean, we can always say Good Will Hunting,
Mhm.
but this is that movie. This is that franchise.
Well, people think
And
that
they're
he
still
won
they're still
because
gonna
he
make
won
a
an
fifth one.
Oscar. He won the Oscar for Goodwill, and people think it was for acting. It's like, no, it's just
For
screenplay.
writing.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Me and Zach always talk about is like, did you win the Oscar too early, and is that going to affect your career now? But I think
Maybe.
that Ben and Ben and Matt have been very good about not being, held to that curse. Because I think a lot of
Mhm.
people are. This is
Well,
so awesome.
Ben's got
I love
3
this.
now.
Yeah, I eat up all the spy stuff.
Oh, yeah. This is definitely, like, my favorite, like, by far one of my favorite trilogies. I don't really count 4 and 5 as part of
Yeah,
them, even though they are.
yeah.
I kinda count them as their own thing, like, Legacy's kinda just like, they tried to do something different, I get it. Um, and then Jason Bourne was just meh, it's alright. But,
I
yeah,
had
they're
I had
making
a
another one, so
I wrote yeah, they are with the All Quiet on Western Front director. But I always
mhm.
had a thing written in my head. I'm like, I know exactly how to introduce Jeremy Renner and Matt Damon into the same universe. I'm like, literally, it'll just be an action scene, and then Renner gets thrown through like a glass window, and he and he and Bourne just start running, and then they just get into context as to who they are or something. That's like a 10-year-old story. Like I was
Yeah,
writing that in like middle school or like high school.
because I don't think Renner is gonna be able to do much anymore, so after his, like, accident.
Thank God the man's alive. That's all I gotta
I
say,
know.
right? Like
I don't know.
he is a strong dude.
Yeah.
Good old CIA. Anytime you watch any of these movies, you have to have the CIA. And I think this is the first time where it's like post 9/11 sort of vibe,
Mhm.
even though I feel like
It
it
was a
did
year
affect
later.
this movie.
They probably filmed it either
Bro, Gary
before
Cooper, let's go. Let's
most
go.
underrated actors of all time. Chris Cooper. Let's do it.
And Born Ultimatum, David Strathairn. Man, that
Mhm.
man is so good too.
Then you have the 2, you have Brian Cox. Like, you got
Yep.
some
Brian's in this movie, I think, a little bit, if I remember
yeah,
right.
I think he
Remember
yeah,
when
this
they
is
used to go
big
to,
rodeo.
all these places to shoot movies and it actually looks
Oh,
real?
yeah, this would be all blue screen now. Like, man, I have a lot of problems with movies today. I think that's,
I
like I always bring it up every podcast, and I think that's what always, like, why I vibe with these movies so much more, because I can tell, like, they actually are shooting this on the ocean right now. I
and
mean,
I
this shot could be,
understand.
like, along the
It's
coast, but, like
still it's beautiful.
yeah. Like, it's like this, it's like, "Alright, now go over there and just start, like, doing some pull-ups." Like, I'm just gonna film you doing that. Like, "Alright."
I think
Like
I'm realizing my sweater love came from this movie. I love sweaters. My dad has a massive collection too, and this sweater is pretty iconic in this movie.
mhm. Yeah, because in the second one, he has, like, a black sweater,
Yep.
and the 3rd one, he's, like, just wearing, like, a gray long sleeve, but
And then he's got the black jacket in that one.
yeah.
Doug Liman hadn't made a action movie before this, right?
I don't believe so. Was this one of his first movies? No?
Because he had the movie with Vince Vaughn. I know that. That's a good one.
Let me double check. Let's do it
Uh
live.
Time to overshare real quick. I had a car accident, and this scene right here of him not being able to remember, I tell you, it's one of the most horrifying things, not being able to remember something.
Like, from the accent, you don't remember anything.
Or it happens so fast that like
Yeah.
I
You
just
kinda
like
just, like,
within
black
the
out for a second.
or I it's like it was somewhere where it's like you have to like slow down and remember. And then I had an abnormal psych professor tell me like, "Oh yeah, you have PTSD from that." I'm like, "Oh, cool. Good to
Cool.
know."
Yeah. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah, he did Swingers with
Yeah,
Vince Vaughn that
Swingers.
him and John Favreau wrote.
Yep. And
Yeah,
now
this is like
he
his fourth movie. Pretty
not
big like
bad.
thing to take on. Because these books were in
He's
the 70s, 60s.
yeah, and they had a Richard Chamberlain like TV movie thing that they did,
Hmm.
and I watched some of it. I was like on YouTube or something. So that's why I remember it being Richard Chamberlain, but this is obviously just something else. Good old young Matt.
I love this little like theme right here.
Yeah,
That like with the violins there. I like how they do this though, because it's like you're looking at this guy, like this guy's supposed to be like an action guy. Like he's just like walking off this boat, like he has no idea where to come. They'll literally do like
but
the next scene, and you're
fundamentally,
like,
when it
yeah,
so it's like the whole movie's playing, and then you hit the juice when he's in the bank, and that scene
yeah.
happens.
Oh yeah, that's my
But
favorite scene.
it's like the whole point of like a good action movie for the most part is that you want to have just a regular old looking dude that can really do it.
Hmm.
And if you look at most people that are like maybe in the military or doing actual action work, they're not, they're not Stallone, they're not
Hmm.
Arnold.
Yeah.
And I love Arnold and Stallone. I love those sorts of movies, Commando, Predator, etc., etc. I eat it up, but this Die Hard, you gotta love it.
Hmm. Because I'm sure, like, I mean, I was too young to remember, but I'm sure when this movie came out, people were like, Matt Damon is playing that guy, Jason Bourne. Like, the people that read the books, I'm sure. I always loved this shot too.
That's what I said. Oliver Wood, man.
Very
Just
like Cold War esque that shot.
yeah.
This is when you're like, all right, this scene. Because he was on the boat, he was speaking like what Russian on the boat, and he switches to German here so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, like his face like coming up when he like grabs the baton, and you're like, all right, shit's going down.
Do
Like right there,
you
he's like, oh,
speak
I
two
can speak German.
languages?
No, unfortunately, I don't. I wish I
Okay.
did.
No, reason why is I do. And this sort of context. Ooh.
Like that,
You see the change
yeah,
on his face, right? Right?
yeah, like that's the change, yeah, the change on his face being like, oh, and you're like, oh crap, and just like that quick, like boom, boom, like, because then as an audience, it's like you could easily start this with like he's gonna take down 30 guys immediately, but just like two little like police officers, just boom, boom, done.
This guy, fantastic actor too, right
Oh,
here. I love him.
Mr. Echo from Lost.
Yep. And I think, or what I was saying about the language thing is like you just subconsciously kind of flow into a different language. And that it's like
Hmm.
all the stuff that Ludlum was doing. It's great. Before John Wick came out, these are the movies that I could not stop talking about. John Wick, Mad Max, Mission Impossible. But even then, I still love these movies. I got scared at one point. I was like, I can't watch these movies. They might age worse now, but they're still fantastic.
Yeah. I never really have a problem with movies like aging poorly. I mean, when it comes to obviously dialogue, that's a different thing. But like when it comes to like aesthetic, like I don't. There's Brian Cox.
It it
I
depends
don't
on
have
the
a
movie,
problem with it. Yeah. I mean, obviously,
like
like they're
GoldenEye.
like the computers they're using, like in the CIA, are like, all right, that's a completely out of date computer. Like,
Oh yeah, no, none of that's not a problem. It's just like, oh, like GoldenEye score. That score of like it's very 90s and it just doesn't
mhm.
sound that good.
Yeah.
Brian Cox fan. Mr. Fuck off.
Pretty sure these look like they're shot actually against green screen. These could be pickups. Like look how fake that looks.
Yeah, I see
That
it.
like
I
that
see
doesn't look
the
good.
lighting behind yeah,
Yeah. Those are probably a pickup shot. They probably like maybe they or the earlier takes
but it
obviously.
works. It still works though.
Yeah.
It's better than the
Man, I
green screen
love.
shot in Heat.
Oh yeah. And like when they restore these movies on 4K or like, I mean, I'm watching a Blu-ray because I heard actually the
I'm
4K
watching a 4K.
transfer. Yeah, I heard the transfer. I don't know if it's like digital one is like the physical copy is pretty bad. But yeah, like older the 4Ks when it helps to like 90s like CGI doesn't Doesn't help. It doesn't help. You
Yeah.
can clearly see how bad some parts
I
are.
will say that Independence Day, fantastic transfer. Looks
Mhm.
amazing.
That sweater. I want to get that sweater. Matt Damon.
I wonder if they took the whole like, I think it's World's Not Enough. The opening scene is in a bank. I wonder if they took it from a
Mhm.
Ludlum book. I would not be surprised. There used to be a game and you had to like play the first level of the game is in the bank. That's why anytime I see one of these banks, I think about this. I'm talking about like an
Mm.
N64 game.
Why is she
God,
being
this
so
woman's so passive
suspicious?
aggressive.
I was like, why is she being so suspicious?
I
He
understand if
clearly
I
writes
walk in
down the
there,
numbers.
she might be skeptical if I walked in there.
It's like he's a normal white guy. There's no problem here.
It's the clothes, I guess.
Yeah. He's also walking really slow.
I like how you don't need subtitles. They just
Mhm.
visually give you the story. Look at that. That's still awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. But I also like how you're doing this. It's like you're as you as the audience are also following him because you don't know what's going on either. You're like, let's hope this works, guys. Like, and
Like I
everything
said,
just slowly works.
yeah. Like I said, it's like anytime I watch these sorts of movies, I always harken back to like a Bond or something like that. This is all stuff I grew up on together.
Hmm.
So you just find yourself comparing it whether you want to or not.
I mean, it definitely has Bond vibes, just not the gonna go to a dinner party later vibes
Yeah.
in Bond.
No, it takes all of the flair of Bond, it takes it off and it gets stripped in a good way.
Hmm.
And that's, I mean, you just have to change you can use the same formula, but you gotta create your own path within it, right?
Yeah,
And they make it compelling.
Jason Bourne. What a name.
Have you seen Who Am I with Jackie Chan?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I'm gonna wreck that to everybody. It's just a good it's a Benny Chan. It's like one of the Jackie Chan production movies, but
Mm.
quite literally the entire movie is called Who Am I? So it's him trying to figure out who he is, right?
Yeah.
I think it's a '90s one from him. I had the DVD growing up.
Yeah, because essentially, as you're probably writing this, you're like, as you're pitching it to like, I don't know, a publisher, like it's James Bond, but he doesn't know that he's James Bond.
How many books do they have? Do you know? Like since you've
I
read
know
some of them.
the Robert Ludlum. I think he only wrote 3 of them, and I think his then son took over. There's like a bunch of them now. Like it's like a Bourne story, and they have side characters, and
Okay.
it'll be like I've seen them in like bookstores, like Barnes and Noble, where it'll say like Bourne, but it's like not actually Bourne. It'll be like the Bourne like conspiracy or something, and like it's not actually Jason Bourne. It's like a Jason Bourne story, is what it says. A Star Wars
Okay.
saga, a Jason Bourne saga.
It's like Frank
Yeah, I'm
Herbert's
pretty
son
sure.
doing like Dune.
Yeah, yeah, he's written like 20 other books. Like, yeah,
Yep.
just I just read the originals. Like Tolkien's son writing other stuff. Like, I'm just gonna read your dad's work. Like, I'm not gonna
Stephen
read
King's
yours.
son.
Yeah. Well, he's like he's smart enough to change his name. So,
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
you know, you're like, oh, I wonder who your dad is. No, Stephen King. Like,
I remember always seeing this bag, like this trash can bag. I'm just like, that just looks like a regular bag. I mean,
they're like, he's like, why does that guy have bullet holes in his back shirt? We're basically just being
for
like,
Jason Bourne.
That guy's probably like, yeah, Bourne just showed up.
Does Matt Damon smoke? I think he might. Like his voice sounds a little different now.
I could see maybe when he was younger he smoked. Like Good Will Hunting, maybe through this, maybe he stopped because of this. Because I feel like you'd have to be pretty good shape. You're like, I can't smoke anymore.
Oh yeah, nah. He went through the training for all these movies. That's for sure. I'm surprised he wants to do a fifth movie because these are not easy movies to make.
Mm. He's probably just like it's like a Harrison Ford thing where it's like that's his character. Like
Oh
everyone knows
yeah,
Matt Damon is Jason Bourne. Like that's Bourne. Like my dad calls Matt Damon. He's like, oh yeah, he's that Bourne guy. That's what
no,
he said.
literally that. How do you think I context him into my dad too? Same thing.
Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal is Day After Tomorrow. No
That
matter what.
yeah, he's that Bourne guy. My dad likes these movies a lot.
Oh yeah,
He
same
doesn't
here.
watch. He doesn't watch many movies, but he likes these.
My dad loves a lot of movies, and we've rewatched these so many times. Anytime it's on TV.
That was quick. I'm an American. No problem. Come on in. You stop though. This is the best part coming up. His lighting in
Good
here is so
old. Oh, it's Franco. Never mind. I
so
don't know why I thought it
bland.
was Julia Stiles. Have you seen her in anything else? I think I've seen her in one thing. I forgot
She's
the
in
movie's name.
Run Lola Run.
Yeah, that's the one.
Where's
Yep.
that? Yeah. She's in a lot of stuff. I think I saw her something recently, but I can't remember.
Apparently, she was supposed to be like a lawyer or something. From what I've read of the Loveland books, it feels like they were a bit uptight, and this is them having a little bit of fun with it.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah, I
think
need
that's
to
what
go
it is
back
when
and
it comes
reread
to these
them.
books. The Patriot Games book, bro, that book was so thick.
Those are Tom Clancy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That dude writes like 2,000-page books. Here we go. What if you had another red bag and you were standing near him? Which one of us?
Bro, like I told you, if it's a man of color, that man would have been shot. That man would have been dead.
Definitely.
Let's go. Let's go. We don't talk
I
during
always
fights.
loved.
We just cheer him on.
We watch. I always loved that first grab over the shoulder and he just pulls it back. Like that's my favorite part. The music too.
This is how you shoot action, man. And tell me why they saw this. They're like, oh, let's do shaky cam now. Nope. This is how you do kinetic action filmmaking, but you see everything.
Nut shot.
Bro had to eat that. That is not fun.
Yeah, that stunt guy probably got paid a little extra.
I always love that.
I love this because it's like as he started to now, you're clearly like, oh, as he's going along, he just clearly remembers how to do everything. Like, let me grab this. Oh yeah, I should grab this. Oh, let me grab his walkie. I forgot about his walkie. And as soon as this guy touches my shoulder, you're all going down. Like it's like Manchurian Candidate, basically. Like he just snaps into action. Like as soon as someone touches him, I'm ready to go.
Have you seen the OG one? Is that worth watching?
I mean, it's better than the Denzel one, but
okay.
I still really like the Denzel one a lot. But yeah,
I like it. But
or the original.
I've heard awesome.
The Frank Sinatra and Angela Lansbury's in. It's got a Criterion release actually, Manchurian Candidate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the first one I ever saw was the Denzel one because I was only like 12
I saw it because my aunt was like raving about it. I'm talking about when I was a kid.
I think I saw the Denzel one in theaters, so like 12. My mom used to take me to some. I'm sure some people were like, "Why is this kid in here?"
Oh, that's me, but at home. I was watching like Bad Boys on TV on repeat as like an 8-year-old. Bad Boys 2.
I remember my mom brought like the VHS for like The Matrix home. I was like 9 and I watched it.
I remember recording. My dad had recorded Matrix Reloaded on VHS off of HBO. Bro, that fight, man. And little did we know the stunt double for that big fight that he has with all the agents was Chad Stahelski.
Mm-hmm.
And he's done more for action than most folks have recently.
Most people probably even know, honestly.
Yep. Talk about that backhanded stuntman thing at
Yeah,
the
I was like,
Oscars.
yeah, I was like, is this supposed to be like a pitch for them to be like, hey, are we gonna get an Oscar year now? Like, what's going on? Yeah, it's really weird.
That would have been a great time to actually announce it, but whatever.
Yeah.
Let's enjoy this great action work. This is still nerve-wracking work.
Simple POVs. I feel like people don't use POVs that much anymore.
Not enough. I mean, I think there's a power to using your camera as an eye. Literally,
Mm-hmm.
when you start learning this stuff, I've never gotten a degree in this, but they talk about it as like your camera work should be almost like an eye, whereas your
Mm-hmm.
focus, it is quite literally an eye of focus. So maybe people should
This is
learn this stuff more.
it's like a
Man,
little
this is
spider.
the guy who must have done this. Jeez.
You mean what are you talking about? It's Matt, dude. Didn't you see him right there?
Yeah, of course. Oh wait, actually, it might be. You never
That was him
know.
right there. They probably
I
had him like, yeah, they probably dropped. He probably jumped from there. Well, that fake snow. I wonder what Chris Cooper's up to.
yeah, I know.
He's so good. I can't
I'm
remember the
always a
last
fan
thing
of
he's
like
been in
consummate character
recently.
actors.
It was like the late
This is
90s and early 2000s. Like he was just killing it left and right. Chris Cooper.
American Beauty was right before this.
October Sky. He
October
did
Sky.
adaptation. Like he was just, damn, this guy's good.
He
Like
had
he's an
Breach
actor where
after
it's like,
this.
he's like an actor where it's like, if the movie's not very good, like he's always gonna kill it. But the good thing was all those movies are great. American Beauty is questionable now. Like everywhere you
Bro,
watch it, you're
real
like,
quick.
yeah.
This is the rom-com scene right here.
Yeah, I heard you freaking out in the bank back there. Give me a ride. Like,
And then he bribes her. But little did he know he's gonna fall in love with her. At least they use like a proper car, you know? They could have
yeah.
gone with a bigger car, but like this is
Didn't these
uncomfortable.
didn't this like because they have the PT like cruiser like um no, what is this? This is Mini Cooper, not PT Cruiser. PT Cruiser.
I was about to say. I was
PT
like, wait,
Cruiser. Wait, it's like no, the
I
Mini
thought I
Cooper.
was
Didn't
learning
this
something.
didn't this like movie because they have the car chase in it, and in the second one they kind of like skyrocketed the sales. Like people wanted a Mini Cooper because of this movie.
This is 2002, and then 2003 was what was it?
Italian
Italian
Job.
Job. Yep.
Yeah.
Love that one too. That's one. Bro, is that Walter
Oh,
Goggins?
Walton Goggins. I forgot he's in this. He's like in
It's
just
like
like
Jack
two
Black and
shots.
Enemy of the State.
Yeah. Yeah, he's in like this scene. I think he's in like one other scene. Young Walton Goggins.
I think they get better with. I think yeah, Paul Greengrass gets better with these scenes, but this scene is
Mm-hmm.
fantastic. I love these. You know, we gotta find Bourne. Where is he?
Yeah.
And then by Jason Bourne, it was like Jesus Christ, it's Jason Bourne.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. It's Jason Bourne. Oh yeah, and we got I always forget Clive Owens in this movie.
Oh, he's so good in this movie. He doesn't really say much, but he's cooking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love there he is. I love like spy movies.
I don't know why people. That's my problem. It's like, yeah, you can make a drama, but why don't you just make, genre films? They're so much more fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like if
Because
I'm bored,
you're getting out of this. Like you know exactly what you're gonna get.
and even then, it's like they have a chance to surprise you, and obviously these movies surprise you in a great
Hmm
way. What is this Roman holiday? That's for you,
And look,
Pat.
that was for me. They shot that headshot for me specifically. And look, they actually went to these places to film. Like, who would have thought? Studio used to do that.
Like I know y'all can do splinter unit work, just do it more.
It's kind of wild how they've come full circle 100 years. They started in just the lots, then they went out on location. Now they're back shooting green screen on the lots. Like,
You already know what's going to happen in 10, 15, 20 years. You're like, so we're going to
mm,
start doing this thing where you can go outside and make movies, and we're
yeah,
not going to have AI writing movies. It's going to be actual humans and actual
yeah.
locations. Oh
Well, it's
my
because they have
god.
the new technology they made for like the Mandalorian, where it's like they have that surround screen essentially, and
The
they build
volume,
the
yeah.
stage on it. Yeah, which is like a cool invention, but it's like I feel like as an
It's
actor, like a director over time, you'd be like, I want to go outside and shoot this. Like, I don't want to be in this building all the time.
I think
But
the
it
issue is
saves the studio
that
money.
the volume works, but it's not a catch-all, especially with like a
Hmm
depth of field thing.
Oh yeah,
And that plus lighting, I mean, it helps. It's not bad, but it's definitely not a solution. Like Nolan's not going to start using it. If Nolan starts using it, it is actually a
it's over.
solution.
It's over. Well, even like this, like they're actually driving. They're obviously not driving, but they're actually driving around shooting this.
And I will always say, yes, I know it sucks. Of course, it's going to suck, but
Hmm
what it looks like matters, and it's fantastic. This makes me want to travel to Europe. They showed Barcelona. I'm like, oh yeah, like my dad has a friend there now. I should probably go to Barcelona at some point.
hmm
Good movies do that. There's this movie called Zindagi Ne Mili Dobara. It's like you won't get a second life. And it's like a coming of age movie for like 30-year-olds, but it's a good movie. And it's in Spain. So like, oh, now I want to go see Spain because it looks fantastic in this movie.
hmm
And I had a friend, he was hating on me, or like he was making fun of me. He's like, why do you use movies as context for going to places? I'm like, how do you think I've seen the world?
Yeah, because that's how people see the world. Some people don't go anywhere and they just watch the world through movies.
And then like I went to Chicago and I turned around every street. I'm like, this is the Dark Knight. And that makes
The Joker
Chicago
was
even
right
better.
here. Yeah,
I'm
the
like,
Joker
yo,
was
that's
right here.
untouchable.
There's your one F bomb. You get
Good old
one.
PG-13. I really love the one from Guardians of the Galaxy 3. That was a good recent one for me.
Yeah.
Where they're just like the joke is for like opening a car door. Like, come on, let's just make it stupid and fun.
Then you push a little closer on her face. They're
Yeah.
opening up more, a little more intimate. I know. I always love like he's punched like 5 cops in the face so far. But how
Yeah.
an F word is where we draw the line. Think of the children. This guy's been in a lot of stuff too. I forget his name. This guy that's on the computer. I've seen him in a lot of stuff.
Is he the dad in
Oh, he's the
eighth grade?
dad in yeah, he is in 8th grade. That's the dad. Yeah.
Josh Hamilton, if I remember correctly. If I'm
Mhm.
placing, I might be placing
Yeah, it's him.
his name wrong, but he's
It's
really good in that
exactly where I
movie.
remember him from. Mhm.
Okay, because he gives a great performance. It's like give these these character actors juice. They deserve it.
Walton's got some lines in this.
And he's got what is it that Fallout show coming out this year?
Mhm.
He was on a
Love me
sitcom
some Walton.
recently. I watched every single episode. The Unicorn.
Nah, I never seen it. Like a CBS show,
I'm
I think.
yeah, it
I mean,
was.
he's always Boyd and Justified.
Oh yeah, Justified. Yep, right from the jump, just blowing it up, quite literally.
He was in the Shield before that. He's been with FX. He did a
Yeah,
lot of FX stuff. And he did
Shield with
him and Danny McBride are now like best friends because
yeah,
of
because of Vice Principals.
and the Righteous Gemstones.
Oh yeah, love that one. They shoot it about 2 hours from where I am. Good old
Safe house.
Charleston.
I always wanted to like. I'm gonna go in a safe house. This is a safe house for people, for spies.
I like how
Julia
this is so
Stiles.
pristine. And by the time we get to the the fifth movie, like in Bourne Legacy, she's like in Iceland and like her
Yeah.
life's gone to hell.
I mean, this is what, because 10 Things I Hate was probably two. They probably filmed that. This like was
97,
99.
96,
Yeah,
right? Oh wait, no, sorry. It
it was
was a
99
99
though.
movie. Okay, so
Probably
it's
filmed it in
98.
98. Yeah, and they probably filmed this 2001. So like not a few years later. Like
Yeah.
she had her run from it. I don't know what happened. She kind of just stopped getting roles.
Yeah, it's the bane of,
I guess I
you
just
know,
the bane of being a
Hollywood.
woman in
They don't
Hollywood.
care
Yeah,
if you don't play their
especially women.
games, especially as women, right?
Yeah. Men will always, especially white men, they'll always have roles.
They'll get roles. They'll always succeed to some extent, but
It's like that's the reason you look at movies like Barbie excel. Like, and the response from a studio shouldn't be, "Hey, let's make Hot Wheels movie." Like, no, that's not what you do. You make movies for women that are written and directed by women. That's what you do. Not let's
and
make
I
it a
take it a
cinematic
step further,
universe.
like all the other, above the lines or whatever, shot
Even below
edited
the
and
line,
music,
yeah.
just or below the line, excuse me. But it's like we need it, and it'll make a difference. I think
Yeah, but
Divine Randolph,
studios.
who just won an Oscar, she was talking about how I want to be in like Coen brother movies and some other directors, Wes Anderson. And I'm just like, we don't need those people to like tell our stories. Just,
Mhm.
people of color, we can tell our stories ourselves. Women can tell their stories themselves. We're not in this back era. Or maybe we are, who knows?
But yeah, it's like let's make a cinematic universe of Hasbro toys. Like, let's not do that. Like, please, let's not do that. That's why it's like they're making, I guess it'd be Born 5 or 6, I guess technically.
6, technically, yeah.
Um, but his fifth one, it's kind of like, do I really need another Jason Bourne movie? Like,
No,
I'm
we
probably gonna
don't.
see it, but it's like,
Oh yeah, they'll
do
have
I
me
really
day
need
one,
this?
but it's like
Yeah. It's like I don't even remember what happened in 5 or 4, and I own both of them. Like I don't.
I
That's the
rewatched
thing.
5
Yeah,
because I didn't remember. All I remember was Vincent Castle being really, Vincent Castle. That's about it.
I only remember him in the his opening scene when he just like runs up, like walks up and punches that guy in the face,
Punches
and
the
then
Yep.
Alicia Vikander's in it, and that's all I remember.
And
Like,
Riz Ahmed's in it.
see, I completely forgot he's in that movie. I need to
He
rewatch that
plays like
movie. I guess.
the guy heading up the company or whatever.
Yeah, man.
I love that this is just, it just looks like it's exotic for us, at least as Americans, but it's like it's just shot in a regular area,
Mhm.
seemingly at least, in
And
Paris.
this whole movie, like I always feel like I need to put like a jacket on when I'm watching this movie. It just feels cold.
That's the best feeling. That's the
Yeah.
best feeling.
Which I guess is
Prisoners.
like the point of it, because it's like this guy doesn't know who he is. Like he's in an area he doesn't know where he's supposed to be, and it's like you're not gonna be like, let's shoot bright colors. Like this is gonna be the most like bland looking movie, but it's still gonna look good, but it's gonna be very bland.
I love this. Like
Oh,
she's doing so much
anytime.
acting,
Yeah.
just just off her face.
Mhm.
That's like, yeah, I was like, I forgot I did this for money. And you can see right in the scene before this, like she has this genuine worry about him.
I feel like I feel like the most recent movies I see, like in newer movies, like they don't even shoot that close up anymore. Like those close ups, like they're gonna
How
be,
can I forget about you? Bars.
they're gonna.
Bars.
She's like, damn,
Jason Bourne, the Rizzler,
born, born. Not really
the Riz
secretive
identity.
there. Yeah, not really secretive there, Jason. You have born your last names on the thing. I love that. I guess you're not home.
Tony Gilroy, man.
We haven't talked about him yet, but it's like we're both very big Michael Clayton fans.
I
Man,
love that
and
Gotta be
obviously, what's the new show that he did? The Star Wars show,
Andor, which is arguably
Andor.
might be the best thing Star Wars like ever made,
Yep.
arguably with like Empire. Like,
Because he's like, I don't give a crap about what you've done before. I'm gonna just do
yeah,
my thing. He's like, I'm just gonna take this big budget you've given me and do this like political story, kind of just, weave in what I want to weave in into this. And that's what good artists do. Marvel tries to do that, but it does not work. They're like,
yeah,
oh yeah, like I'm writing this movie, but I've never read all this stuff.
yeah,
Y'all can't do it, but Tony Gilroy, he murders it because he's a great writer in the first place.
yeah. I think Michael Clayton's one of my favorite like scripts ever. It's a perfect
There's this
script. No
there's this guy I
notes.
follow
Like,
on TikTok. He's a writer, Paul Guyot. He just wrote a book. It's like it's like it's not Save the Cat, but it's like Save the Dog, kind of a rewrite of Save the Cat in a better context. And he
mhm.
always talks about that Michael Clayton script.
Like no notes. Like if I was got that as a studio head, like got that, I'd be like no notes, make it. Like it's
Was that
incredible.
2007, right? That's a peak cinema year.
Yeah. Oh, that's my favorite year. Born Ultimatum, 2007.
Yep, yep.
My
I know.
favorite,
That's what I was thinking
favorite,
about.
my favorite years. They had No Country for Old Men, Zodiac, Jesse James,
Just
Ultimatum,
something in
Michael
the water.
Clayton, Ocean's 13.
Love
What
that
else was
movie.
there? Juno,
Juno.
right
Yes,
here.
Jason Reitman. He just started shooting his new movie, the SNL movie.
Oh yeah.
I love like there's barely no furniture in here.
Because
I was just talking about how movies
he's
become
never
like
home.
period pieces, and this is now a period piece because I have
Oh
to like
yeah.
explain this to like a kid.
Like we used to have phones that you would ring in the house and you would pick it up. Like,
And you could press redial and it actually
yeah.
dials.
You had an answering machine.
Someone was
Yeah.
talking about pagers or yesterday. My dad was talking about how he used to work at this fishing hunting place, and people who went to fish, they were just trying to get away from their wives back then because they didn't have phones, no pager, no nothing. I was like, I forgot they had pagers.
I know. It's like kids today be like, look, when I was growing up, I didn't have a phone or anything. And then when we first got texting, like you had to pay for each message. You would just text
Yeah,
like on way. Like,
and now you can just use like a Google Voice or a WhatsApp or
yeah.
whatever.
And now people don't even answer the phone anymore. You only text. Yeah, do you know Jason Bourne? Like, why are you calling about Jason Bourne? No reason. Anyway, bye. Uh-oh. It's like a Sandman shirt on here. Spider-Man
Yeah,
3.
bro, the score, man.
I know. I wonder if they're using like probably like, just like symbols there. Like I think you like I'm gonna like bang these plates and see what it sounds like.
I'm all for the creativity, man. Just like push it till it
Pen.
doesn't work, and then range it back. Pull it back.
Because it's like I'm sure like at the time this type of score for an action movie, people like you're like gonna present it, you'd be like, this is a weird score for an action movie.
Ooh, you're right. This is 2000s, but it's post it's not really that, that night that 2000s music. Like I said, GoldenEye kind of had it. This like
Hmm.
Mark Mancina sort of vibe. They have the like Tomb Raider, same time
Hmm.
frame. Very 2000 scores for action movies. But
It's very like this is like very experimental, like right here. Like, there's just a lot
this
of
is
sound going on right here.
yeah.
just stop it? Sorry, I just had a knife in my hand. Someone's here.
You just feel the tension of the moment, man. It's so good.
But I love how it's just like this, and then it just happens. Like he was waiting for it.
Yeah. It's almost a curse that he has to be on, right? And that's what these movies seem to be, is that Jason is good at this one thing. It's very much what Bourne is, right? It's like you have this person, it's competency porn, where it's like they're so good at what they do, but it's not necessary that they want to do it.
Yeah, it's like that whole like you thought he was gonna find him like immediately, and then just dead silent music, and then boom.
This is how you do it, man.
This guy's got some interesting hair choice.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Just like
it reminds me of the
straight,
the
like,
guy
blonde.
who kills Peter Parker's like uncle Ben. He kills Uncle
Oh,
Ben
it does. It does.
in the 2000 whatever Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Jason,
he's got a knife. It's like, don't worry, I'm going to grab a pen.
Transporter
now,
was
like
around the same time as this, right?
Yeah, I think Transporter was 2004, maybe 5.
Oh, good. Because he had 1 and 2. 3 is not good, but 1 and 2 are some great
I
action.
think I never saw the third one.
Not worth your time. Yes, the pen.
Pen. I guess you had a little foreshadowing earlier when he's using the pen.
So you get my context of like telegraphing this to like John Wick, right? This is how you respectfully see what the geniuses have done already, and then you just build your own thing from it. This man's, bro.
The way he pulls it out. Oh
yeah, it's fantastic.
Damn, broken ankle, broken arm.
He just makes his head like, let me give you a concussion so you can tell me less of who you are. I like how she's freaking out that they found this information on her, and just think about the context today, a post-Snowden era, if you'd say, because the 5th movie is very much, you know,
I always love that. Just
what in the Home Alone was that?
I just love like the reaction. Like he just gets, I'd be like, oh, what the fuck? All right, well, we gotta go.
That's
now.
very Home Alone 3 if you've ever seen it.
I remember that. I watched that as a kid. That's when he has like the race car, right?
Yeah, that's the one where Scarlett Johansson's the sister.
Oh yeah, like one of her first roles.
Yep.
Is that when you fell in love with Scarlett Johansson?
As a kid, yes, sir. We're talking about this. Marie. I think Franca's casting here is fantastic. I think they could have gone very different direction with but this is great casting. I mean, she actually looks like a European woman, and I think they could have gone maybe, you know, a bit more like English or something like that. Nope, doesn't work. She's French. She's French, right? In this, I think she's a French actress.
Am I supposed to be German? No,
German. Okay,
maybe.
I do like where they take Julia Stiles' character, because this, you know, obviously she's by the book agent.
I like what they do with her in the second one too, because she's kind of like, I'm out of this, but then he's like, no, you're coming back.
Okay. Anybody listening, spoilers for Jason Bourne if you haven't seen it. I did not like that they killed her. I'll tell you that much.
What they do?
But it's like it felt, you know what it felt like? It's like, oh yeah, we have this one last narrative card to pull to have him motivated
and they pull it, and it feels unceremonious in a sense. Especially that there's that whole scene that's like, I think it's in Greece, and they're having this riot, and there's so much going on, and it feels like they just killed her like a dog. It didn't mean anything, and it's especially after you're following a character for this long. I'm thinking more of a Logan ending, even if it's a
But
side
even
character.
that's kind of like mute Logan now. So you're making
Yeah.
Deadpool 3.
Yep.
So I don't know.
Nothing is. You can't keep anything. I don't know what else to say.
We should bring back the boards that do that. Let's switch, like, dude, they switch down like that.
No, I love it. They have them at a like the Universal like Harry Potter World or whatever for like the like the England like bus station or whatever, or the train station. And I just sit there and I was like, oh, that's a great detail. I love that. Why did we ever move to a digital world?
Who knows, man? Because it's more expensive. So that's the thing. That doesn't make any sense half the time.
Yep.
She's gone.
I love this.
Yeah.
This is a reminder of like, this is how you do filmmaking. It's nothing, over the top, or you're not like creating some message that's gonna like stay with you forever. But this is just, competent work. It's the little details like the rain on the glass. I always remember the beginning of Crimson Tide. She's already started drinking.
Yeah. I mean, like, sorry, I just needed a drink. I would need a drink after that, man.
Yeah. I think Lyman said at some point during this movie that the studio told him, like, oh, can you make this more Tony Scott? And he's like, if you wanted Tony Scott, you should have hired Tony Scott.
Tony Scott, yeah.
This would be a hella different movie with Tony Scott.
We'd have Denzel.
Their first fight. Bro, don't even tempt me with that. It'd be better than The Equalizer, I'll tell you that. Respectfully.
Yeah. I like The Equalizer 1. 2's okay. 3, I was like, it's fine.
Middling,
like seeing him in Dakota.
Boring.
Like seeing
him that was together. Of course. Me and my dad enjoyed that really, like, because we had just watched Man on Fire last year.
Right, yeah.
So or like rewatched it, and then I was like, okay.
See, I think with Matt Damon, even Ben Affleck, like those guys, they're underrated actors. I think people just see them as like, oh, it's Matt Damon.
Himbos.
Like that's yeah, like
very
like very bro-ish, very like bro guys.
But that's the thing. If you watch, if you ever have the time, actually, we should do it on the pod. Ford versus Ferrari. I'm down to do that, man. And that one, it's just like by the end, I'm like tearing up. I'm like, fuck. Thomas Shelby, man. That's one of my favorite performances from him, period. And I think that's the best thing he's done in recent years. I mean, obviously, besides Oppenheimer now, but he's not, he's not at the forefront of that.
Yeah. Yeah, because he was marketed a lot in the trailer, but he's really like not in the movie as much as you would think he would be in Oppenheimer.
It's something I'd call like a number 3 role.
He's gonna get
he ain't 1 or 2.
Matt Damon's a name, so you're gonna like
you're gonna push him.
Yeah,
and plus he has the freakouts, so it's like it's good to like get drama like about this movie about a scientist biopic sort of situation.
Here we go. Car chases. I love me some car chases.
You know what I love? I didn't realize it till very recently, between this movie and then Mission Impossible Fallout, is the way the reflections play on the mirrors, like of the buildings in Paris. It just looks beautiful. This score right here is very 2000s right here.
This is I think it's an actual song, Ready Steady Go or whatever.
Oh, it is? Okay. I was gonna say like this is good though.
Because I remember this is like the actual song, and then in Collateral when they're in the club, they use the Korean version of this song.
Yep. Okay, that's what I was about to say.
Always
I was like,
remember
I've
it.
heard it
I always remember
somewhere.
this version, and then I always remember the Korean version.
Yep, same song. Yep.
It's the same song. Yeah. I
I've
can see
seen
Collateral right now. I can see
Yep, I
Collateral.
can see I've seen Collateral more, but I've seen this movie so many times too.
Do you ever like drive around to these scores and be like, it just makes you drive a little faster because you're like, I'm in
So
a car
Deep Purple,
chase.
Hush from or
Mhm.
they use it in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I will get a ticket driving to that one day. Because all I
Dude, we
see is
should
like Margot Robbie with like her hair going
when
everywhere.
we when
And
we
I'm
come
just
to
like laying on
LA.
the gas.
When we
Yeah.
come to LA, we'll drive down the hills blaring that song so you can relive the moment.
That'd be 11 out of 10 experience right there.
You do a POV of the car. You don't like see that usually.
This is not easy work right here.
I
That's what I'm
just can't
saying.
even
All this
imagine.
stuff is hard to do, but it's worth it every time. I love this car, especially what they do with it in the Italian Job.
Which is the
People
next.
have
I'm
a
sure
lot
they
of
watched this scene for Italian Job and we're like, all right, let's do something
yeah.
like this.
Oh yeah. I love that whole Italian Job cast too.
I haven't seen that in a long time.
Still a banger. Wally Pfister shot that movie actually.
Isn't Charlize in that too?
Yeah, Charlize, Ed Norton, Mos Def, Jason Statham, Mark Wahlberg,
Oh, yeah,
even though
great
he's
cast.
Donald Sutherland for
Yeah,
like 5 minutes.
Mark's got some stuff here and there, but he's not the biggest
Oh, I
Mark
know.
Wahlberg.
Same. There's that and maybe Shooter. We're big. I love those two movies.
I
Good
mean, he's
cable
great in like
rewatches.
Boogie Nights. He's great in like younger, even though
Departed.
his youngest past is not great, and I think that's kind of
Oh
what
yeah,
takes a lot.
obviously, literally
His
blinded an
personal
Asian
life,
man.
yeah, personal life is, but his like younger roles, he's pretty good. Like I like him in Perfect Storm.
Have you seen
Yeah, I think I
Deepwater
like
Horizon?
he's actually really good in that. I'll give him
Like
that.
that,
He's
just that
really good
movie
in that.
overall, that might be one of Peter Berg's best movies because it's a good disaster movie.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Wahlberg probably read for this.
So, 100% sure that McHugh, Christopher McQuarrie, and Tom Cruise watched this movie before they did Mission Impossible Fallout. At least this chase. I see I've seen that movie so many times in recent years, probably 10 plus times, and I see little pieces here and there.
I love that chase, but I think the supremacy one is better than in that one than in this one. When
Yeah.
Carl Urban is coming after him, I think that one's
Yep.
better than this one.
Carl Urban, man. I think there's Carl Urban in that one, and then Edgar Ramirez in the third movie. I think they really, and then Clive Owen in this one, they really picked out a good like third man kind of, assassin guys.
Because that was Carl Urban post Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Still like now he's obviously a bigger name, but I think like even Clive Owen at this time, I think that had a very big name. Like
Yeah.
Edgar Ramirez, like probably might have been one of his like earlier things.
Yeah, and then I remember him getting a solid role in Zero Dark 30. And I was like, that's the dude, that's the dude. And same thing here, right? That's the dude. He played Killer Croc in the Suicide Squad.
Oh yeah. He's always Mr. Echo from Lost.
Yeah.
For me.
No. That he's always that for me too, but it's like he's just, I don't know.
I want to take my jacket off like that.
It's the way that Django flings off his
literally, yeah, just that.
I love that. See, that's just visual filmmaking at its finest. It's real slight, it's hilarious, and it's powerful.
I like that too. Where you didn't even see the body; he just feels it. Like this man was not shot, and he just like leaves. Because everyone else would be like, "Let's see the whole body now. Open the body." Like it's like no, just have him feel like he doesn't even care that this person's dead. Like he just feels it. Like this man wasn't shot. Like also, again, unnatural lighting. Why is there like a light right there? Like bring that lighting back. I don't need it to be
Oh
natural.
yeah,
Like,
I literally every time I watch car scenes, I'm like I drive a lot in my car, so it's like I
mhm,
always think about like context of like how would I do it, and I would just like I would just do it unnaturally. Like it does not matter. It just has to be well lit enough to where your characters can be seen.
exactly.
As long as your
Like,
internal logic is like consistent, just let it
I
run.
always
Because
say,
like
I always
I
say,
think of Locke. That's the movie I always think of when I
mhm,
ooh that shot right there. Oh, so good. It's so
oof.
simple, but it's so good. They're just like, okay, let's whip this beamer
Yeah.
real quick.
That's like with this guy, you're like, all right, this guy's more serious. That's how you see this, like this guy's more, and then that little like effect there, like, okay, this guy's gonna come back.
Yeah, man.
But I always say it's like, again, what we're watching is not real. This is a movie. This isn't real. You can
Bro,
light it however you want to light it. Like,
you
think
gotta
of
you
like a
gotta tell
film
your lady.
noir.
This is advice for anybody. You just gotta tell your lady, like, let me wash your hair real quick. This is like so like so romantic. It's
Sexual tension.
it's
It's like, oh,
11 out of 10 in this
look.
movie. That's how it should be. Because what happens to supremacy? Pew, pew,
Yeah, if,
and it just breaks your heart.
if people haven't seen Run Lola Run, though, she's fantastic in Run Lola Run.
Oh yeah. I only watched it because of this, obviously.
Hmm. I mean, that's like her biggest thing. I feel like people forget that she's in the Bourne movies.
And for me, it's
Yeah,
like she's only in the Bourne movies.
yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
context of
but
what you watched as a kid.
she's really only in one because in the second one, spoiler alert, she dies like right away.
They in India, they in Goa, and then just killed her.
I always listen to
They're
that
like,
track
we didn't want
when
that
I'm working
contract
out,
on us.
the Goa track when I'm working out, and I'm like, yeah, like, pretending I'm running along the sand.
Goa is actually very beautiful,
I
but
love.
it's like,
I think I mean, it's the Supremacy score is very like this similar to this, but I think I like that one more. I think I just Supremacy is my favorite one, so it's hard for me. I'm being like very like.
hey, I understand. When it comes to these movies, the biases are they're gonna come up, especially with what's your favorite, right? It's like
I mean, all
John
three of
Wick,
these
like
are great for me.
John Wick 2 is my favorite, but I love all of them. Besides
Hmm.
like 15 minutes of John Wick 3. Besides that, I love it all.
But I love these three. Like they're all great. All 5 stars for me. No
Yep.
notes.
And that's the
And then
thing, it's
like,
like they lost the sauce. There's a consistent sauce between the first three movies.
well, it gets to a point where it's like, how long? That's what's impressive with John Wick 4. It's like you would think they're making another one of those, like, and you're like, wow, this might be the best one. Like, but that's the risk you're
All faith
taking.
in Stahelski, man. Like he knows what he's doing. And
Yeah.
I was reading the script for John Wick 4, and I'm like, this isn't the script. I was like, okay, I'm impressed.
I mean, that's the risk I guess you're taking, like especially with this, but because it's like you're gonna make another Bourne, or people are like, oh, because it was Bourne Legacy, and you're like, but Matt Damon's not in it. That's when people are
Yeah.
like,
And they have some good action work in it, but I will say, let me be a hater for like 2 seconds of my life, real quick. The ending of Bourne Legacy is one of the worst endings I've seen in my life. And I'm just like sitting there. The shot is zooming out of them on the boat, Rachel Weisz and Jeremy Renner. And I'm just like, this is terrible. This is terrible. This is terrible. That's all I could think of.
Rachel Weisz is innocent though.
Oh,
She's innocent.
Rachel and Jeremy are innocent.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of Bourne Legacy, Jeremy Lin, or sorry, Justin Lin was supposed to make a movie after that in the Bourne world. But
Mhm.
Greengrass and Matt were like, we're gonna make Legacy. I mean, they're gonna make Jason Bourne, so they
Mhm.
never made that movie.
I
And
remember
he
you
didn't want to impart any details because he's like, you never know.
never know. I remember there was, I think it was like, I want to say 5 years ago now. There was a USA show called Treadstone. I think it
Yep,
lasted
yep,
for like 1 year. Never watched
yep.
it, but I mean, I think you could do something with like on TV with like a
Oh,
Treadstone in general.
So if
But
anybody's like who loves this vibe, there's a show on CW with Maggie Q called Nikita, and literally I was watching it in high school when Born Legacy came out, and you know how he's popping pills in Born
mhm,
Legacy to get better? They do
mhm,
the same thing in the show, and I'm just like, wait,
mm.
hold up, wait a minute, and the show's better. Ooh,
Oof,
Wombosi.
damn,
Y'all just killing Africans like that.
racist.
I love this shot. That's how you do it.
I
Doug
love when
Liman
like
deserves his flowers for this movie.
I don't know if it's like fucked up to say, but I love when like spy people like kill somebody from a distance and then they just like slowly put their stuff away and just like walk away.
Yeah,
Like
it's
it's so
it's
smooth,
it's
but it's like
smooth, poetic, but it's messed up.
but it's
Yeah.
supposed to be like it's messed up because there's just like no emotion there, and that's like the whole
Yep.
point. It's just like there's just no emotion, and that shit happens in the real world. Like these people, there are people that do that. Like they're hitmen. Like
Yep.
he's like, I love you. We both have turtlenecks on. It's just like very simple filming. I feel like again, just like shoot them close up. It's a very intimate conversation. I feel like with movies today, like I feel like there's a lot less close ups. I don't know why, unless you're
I
like
think,
getting a
or
big time
put it this
filmmaker.
way.
But
My problem is they have too many close-ups in the sense that they're not providing context.
why it's close up?
There's
Yeah.
no wides. So it's like you can go as close as you want to a face if you do the right stuff. I've
Hmm.
done this a second time now, but uh Francis Lawrence was talking about the Hunger Games movie and how they've got that Alexa 65. They can get a camera so far up in in someone's face, and
Hmm.
he does it right. He gives, the visual context. There's a large scale, even like his latest movie, the whatever that Hunger Games movie. It is pretty well shot, especially at the third act where it's just two characters. And it's like you're playing these wides, it looks fantastic.
Hmm.
But this right here, man,
Well, it's like you start that conversation where it's like you have it wide, but when she's gonna speak more intimate to him, you just cut a little closer and we just pull back to the wide. It's like that's all you need to do.
yep.
But like you're saying, I feel like some people just immediately just go to close up for no context. Like there's a reason why they
It
go
feels
shooting
like
closer up here. Like there's a reason why it's moving closer.
it's like they're moving closer. Sometimes it feels like they're trying to leave out the background.
Because
And it's
you're not
like
supposed to
this,
concentrate on them. Yeah.
or but not that in a sense, but it's like if they're shooting on like a green screen or something like that,
Mhm.
in that sense, it feels like they're getting closer for no reason. There's no reason besides they're trying to hide something.
Yeah.
So it's like emotionally they're not there, right?
And sometimes people do cut close up just because, like, for an editing standpoint, say there's, oh crap, I can see the cameraman in the shot. I gotta push it a
Oh,
little closer.
I have no idea who you're talking about. I didn't see it, so it doesn't matter to me. I'm too worried about Cooper and my man right here. They're so good.
With the George Bush on the wall.
Good old Bushy.
And I feel like post like 9/11, there was probably a big draw for audiences for movies like this, like international spy.
Yeah.
Because I mean, 9/11 changed the land. I always talk about 9/11 changed the landscape of not
Filmmaking,
just the
yeah.
world, like not just like people's personal life, everyone's life, but filmmaking in general too. Like it changed everything.
It shifted in a serious way, and we've never recovered from it necessarily in a good way,
Mm-mm, I don't think we
but
have.
I don't hate what we have at all. I love it. But
I mean,
it's
even in the
like,
new, not to like go back to 9/11 stuff, but even in the new Quiet Place day one like trailer, like they have the dust all over them. Like that's symbolizing 9/11. Spielberg did it in War of the
Yep.
Worlds. Like it's the same symbolism of utter chaos and death.
And it's like, even like I said, I love these spy movies. You talk about Casino Royale, right? It's a reset for that franchise, but it's a reset, into the, a post 9/11 world. I'd like to see Mike Myers try to tackle it. He couldn't do it. I don't know. Austin Powers 4.
Dude, these movies just make me want to go to Europe.
Paris.
Yeah, Paris. They were in Switzerland.
Yep.
Supremacy's like set a lot in like Germany.
And then there's a bit of London, obviously Waterloo Station, big scene there in London. And then we get back to New York, and the New York stuff is fantastic in Ultimatum. But I love all this Europe stuff. Because, I mean, technically the Ultimatum starts in Moscow also. And I love that part of it too. Mr. Kane?
I love the contrast. Remember earlier when he's going into the bank and he comes in the same way. He doesn't know what to do. But this one, they're like, oh my God, he's here. But the other one, they're like, he's here.
Yeah. He just knows he belongs. Look at this man, smooth as hell now. He's lost, but he's still smooth.
Because even like Ocean's 11 came out the year before this. So it's like you're seeing like Matt Damon being like, wait, the nerdy guy in Ocean's 11 is a spy, like a secret agent.
We didn't talk about Ocean's 11, but man, one of my favorite movies of all time. Just like this, just instant rewatch anytime you see it. It's like these groups of actors, just this is what you want to cultivate on screen. These sorts of presences.
If anyone listening to this has not listened to my Ocean's 11 rewatch, it's on the pod. Scroll back.
Yeah.
It's there.
I haven't rewatched it yet, or else I'm gonna be playing it myself when I rewatch it, because Ocean's, well, I have to rewatch 12. That's the one I have a bit of a missing. I don't know what my feelings are about it necessarily. That looked like a fake 100 right there. Anytime you want a sketchy doctor, just turn down the lights real quick.
Yeah.
Dim room.
Have him dress like Dr. Nick in The Simpsons.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dr. Nick. God, literally, that's like literally this guy. Like the tie's undone. Well, I guess this guy's like
I think the line between like serious stuff like this and then comedy is a very thin line. That's why I think someone like Nolan finds the comedy within these movies. Like Nolan makes serious movies, but they're always funny.
Yeah. Or even like this, like he's like opens the door and he's like, where is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say these movies definitely. I think more so probably when it came to Supremacies when he really took off, Matt Damon.
Makes sense. Because
you could have made
2007, isn't it?
Yeah, you could have made this, and then like, who knows? Supremacy couldn't have been good, and then they maybe not even made the third one.
Yep.
And then people just be like, "Oh, I liked Identity a lot." Supremacy, yeah, but all three of them were great.
All bangers. And this is the thing, it's a spy movie. It's a lost identity movie, but it's also got so it's like there's a mystery to it, right? And I always love mystery movies. There's this sort of, obviously the same runaround of genre, but it feels comforting to watch. And it's like, oh yeah, it's like I don't remember this, so let me rewatch this, get a little context. It's fun. I always remember like Tarantino saying like this is a working man's art form, and it very much is. Like I just worked all day. I would rather watch, this. We're talking about National Treasure. That's another one. I was like, oh, let me watch this to escape. And I do.
Yeah. It's like we can watch like a serious movie. We can watch like Bicycle Thieves, but I can watch National Treasure right after it and like still
I
have a
was
great time.
watching I was watching Lawrence of Arabia, and then I turned on Tokyo Drift.
Yeah, it's like because you know, like after you watch Lawrence of Arabia, you're like that was incredible, but you're like, I need to watch like Tokyo Drift now. Like I can watch both of these.
And I it's like and I you can be stunned by and just enjoy two different, like I love the rom-coms too, keep them coming
Mhm.
for me, but I love these straight up action movies, these spy movies. This stuff is I eat it all up. Great genre movies are better than dramatic movies for me, and that's like I don't know, that's just how I've always been. It's what I
Very
grew
Michael
up
Mann
on.
shot there. It was a very Michael Mann shot that close up.
It's a very Michael Mann score real quick too.
Yeah. We just need a Chris Cornell needle drop.
Bro felt the heat coming around the corner.
Just go, oh shit, the cops. My man speaks every language.
I love that.
We're blown.
Because I feel like if you're definitely around enough people around the world, like you just kind of pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
At least I don't know. That's my perspective.
Oh yeah, I'm sure
Speaking
if
multiple languages.
like say you move to Paris and you live there for the rest of your life, you're gonna pick up the language. You're not gonna speak
Yep.
it perfect, but you'll be able to be like, I can pick the language up.
Yep.
Clive's like, huh,
I
guess he's
like
not here.
I like they give him glasses. I think there's just like he doesn't always wear glasses in his movies, but it's like he's almost a square. He looks like a square, but
Mm-hmm.
he's not a square, and then it almost
Yeah.
makes him more horrifying.
Mm-hmm. Because he just looks like a normal guy, like a normal businessman.
Yep. But we know he's not. Get away from me. What in the Stockholm syndrome is this?
Yeah, we? Who's this we? It's kind of sad because you can see it's clearly cold outside, but
Yeah.
movies today they'll like add that in, like to be like, oh, we shot that during the summer. We added those breaths in.
I
Like,
think Spielberg was complaining about it for Bridge of Spies. Because he's like it's like the fake smoke doesn't look like real smoke or something like that. And I
mm-hmm.
think he had to end up doing it for Tom Hanks a bit in those, those snow scenes at the
And
bridge or
on the bridge,
at the
yeah.
wall. Yeah. This is what you need. See, if I ever get character actors in my hand, they're gonna be
It's Chris
delivering
Cooper.
corny dialogue because they can do it the best. They can find juice within it. Great actors take bad dialogue and make it better.
Mm-hmm.
Great actors are
I
elevators.
also love I also love like why do they have a giant map on the wall? Like you got to go to Paris,
Yep.
thumbtacked into Paris.
But that's
Like
what I'm saying.
we know
That's
where
not
he
that's
is.
like that's just it's just, it's maximalist filmmaking in a way where it's just like just do it. Just like, production
Yeah.
design, like just put it up in the like at some point we're gonna reference the map, so put up a map in there.
I love his like
What do you
costume design
think?
too. 'Cause when you first saw him, he had like the full suit on, and now he's just like
Stripped.
short sleeve shirt, stripped,
Yep.
ties undone. Like he's had enough.
What do you think? He shot these scenes within a week or so?
Yeah, probably those interior like them shooting in there, probably maybe 5 6 days. Like all of
Okay.
these, because you can do a lot of this, like especially if you're doing handheld, like
Very fast.
very
And if you're doing
fast.
A and B cam, right? I mean, multicam.
Yeah. And then the shots of him like in his office, like those scenes, maybe a day or two, tops, day.
Yeah.
And they could have shot all of those first, like before Matt even came.
Yep.
And that's how you essentially rearrange schedules. Like, let's shoot all of these first. Let's keep all of these scenes in the same area.
And I think someone who's like a really good director, like an editor, whatever, nowadays you could do all those scenes and then try to put this in between as you're shooting it, piecing it together. Is like, what's the pacing there?
Yeah, there's some editors that I think Spielberg's one of them. They'll start editing while they're shooting.
Yeah.
Like, especially with
I always
digital
talk
now,
about
you can
Soderbergh.
send that off. You can send that off right away, and like editors start looking at them.
And
Because
Soderbergh's crazy. He's just like, I'll
yeah.
put it on my MacBook Pro and I'll have it
He's just
done.
editing it. He's like, yeah, 10 minutes it'll be up. It'll be online in 10 minutes.
And no, and he literally he was talking about, I think, Logan Lucky, and he was like, yeah, it's like we'll shoot a scene and then like, I'll call my AD. I didn't get this. We need to go back to this location to get this shot. And they just get it done. I think Logan Lucky is one of those movies where it's like simple but elegant. Like he perfected how to shoot with the least amount of shots, what he does with heist movies.
I think I was listening to the Smartless podcast. Adam Driver was on there. He talked about Logan Lucky, and he was like, it was definitely a different experience for me because he wasn't used to Soderbergh shooting, as in like he thought there was going to be a lot of like more like Soderbergh was just like, all right, we're good, yeah, shot it, let's go. And Adam's like, well, we don't do more takes. Like he's just not, we're good, we're
Lean
good. I
Mean
got it.
Machine.
Yeah.
I was talking about Clint Eastwood today because he's literally shooting 2 miles down the road, like the next exit
insane.
over.
He's like 93 years old.
Yeah, he's shooting Juror, like our city hall in the little town I live in. They're using the outside as the exterior, I guess, for the courthouse.
This movie is just people wearing turtlenecks.
I love the casting here. There's a lot of good casting in these movies. Whether it's like the American characters or the people who need to look very European.
This dude looks very European.
I forgot the fellow's name. He's at the end of he's the brother in of the girl or whatever, and I think in the second or third movie. He played
Daniel Bruhl.
Yeah, from Rush, and he's in those Captain
Great
America
actor.
movies for a second. Yeah, fantastic
Great
character.
actor.
I love him.
That's whenever I watch these movies, I always like, oh, Clive Owen's in this, Walton Goggins in this,
Yeah.
Daniel Bruhl's in these, like, because
And
at
you
the
just
time,
hope
you're
as
like,
a
these guys are
filmmaker-
just,
Yep.
these guys are just like nobodies yet.
As a filmmaker, you just hope you have that level of a cast.
Because you probably look at, like, if you're like Doug Liman looking back and you're like, damn, I can't believe I got Clive Owen to be in this movie.
Yep.
Chris Cooper, Brian Cox,
And
Walton Goggins.
I mean,
now.
he's got his new Roadhouse coming out. He's got a few good faces in there, like a Billy Magnuson or Daniela Melchior, if I'm saying her name right. She's fantastic in like Guardians. But it's like she still has a road ahead. She's gonna be a big actress.
Mm-hmm.
And there's that bloke,
yeah.
that fighting bloke. I forgot his name. The Irishman,
Conor McGregor. Yeah.
Conor McGregor. He was here for St. Patrick's Day last year.
I mean, Lyman's got some good stuff, man.
Then he did Mr. and Mrs. Smith. He did a Fair Game with Sean Penn. That came out when I was in high school. I saw it at festival. Really enjoyed that movie. Obviously, Edge of Tomorrow, which was kind of a hellish movie to shoot for him, but fantastic movie.
He's got one of those guys with interesting filmography if you looked at it. Like he did Swingers. Like the guy who made Edge of Tomorrow directed Swingers.
But that's like
and
that's
the
best
movie
context,
Go.
right?
I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Go. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, but he made that before this.
Yeah.
That'd be creepy. I'd be like, why are you standing like that?
Bro.
Sorry, I was watching the children sleep. I don't care. I don't realize I have no emotion. They're not wearing turtlenecks. Why aren't they wearing turtlenecks? I will say, when an ultimatum, when it's revealed what his name is, I'm like,
Yeah, Jason Bourne
David
is a better
Webb.
name.
David Webb. David Webb. What are you, Mark Webb's brother? Like David Webb.
Man, Mark Webb has an interesting
Another
filmography
interesting
too.
filmography.
He's got the new Snow White coming. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I like Rachel Zegler, but we'll see.
Yep. I know she's gonna kill it, but it's like I think they just really handed him some like not good scripts when it came to his Amazing Spider-Man movies, or else he would have been golden. They would have made 3, 4 of those. And Gary Cooper's literally Norman Osborn in those, wasn't he? Or wait, am I saying his name wrong? It's not Gary Cooper, is
It's
it?
not Chris Cooper, yeah.
Chris
Gary
Cooper. I don't know.
Gary Cooper's a old actor. He made a lot of westerns. He's in like High Noon.
Oh, okay. See, that's the thing. That's the problem. Sometimes it's when it comes to these names, Chris Cooper.
Is there a relation there? There might be. I don't even know. Watch it be like his dad. It's Gary Cooper. There's an assassin outside, so you're gonna have to go downstairs.
Is this the toaster scene?
No, that's in Supremacy.
Oh, it's in Supremacy. Okay. I love the toaster scene.
This is the like the field scene. Like he knows Clive Owen's outside. Because I think the dog's gone. He's like, yeah, there's an assassin outside, dude. You need to go downstairs.
It's like, you don't need to die. It's like, I don't like, why are you telling me not to die? What is this? What is this nonsense?
I think the guy in Supremacy, the toaster scene, I think he's in True Blood. I think. I could be wrong though.
True Blood is one of those movies, or it's one of those shows. I always saw the ads for that and then Big Love. I used to see the ads and I'm just like, what is this nonsense?
I don't think I've ever seen either. I want to see Big Love because I know my dude Bill Paxton's in it. I've never seen it though. True Blood, I'm kind of iffy on. True Blood, I've heard mixed. It was on it for a while, but I've heard people say it's pretty cheesy, but
fun. You know, I like cheesy, but
I mean, to be honest, I watch it. I watch anything. I mean, I watched freaking like Riverdale, man. I'm pretty low standards.
Because like I told you, I watched
he should have screamed "boom" before he shot that.
Good old explosions, man.
They really blew that thing up, man.
The score yet again, man. We cook.
I love how they make him like. I always love his running there.
Yeah,
but they make him kind of like a robot, which I think Greengrass let him go a little, little more human in the other ones. Like, I think that's what the difference between this one and the other ones. Like, I feel like he becomes very robotic in this one, like very like I know what I'm like very Manchurian Candidate. Like, oh, I've been resurrected to be like, okay, I know what I'm supposed to do. Like.
It is definitely just like you said, it's a director thing. It's like that plus is like authorship of the character, right? It's like, which way do you want this to move? You want him to be, someone you relate to some extent, or not? I always remember they said that in this scene, they the second unit director is shooting one end, Lyman is shooting the other end, like with Matt, and the other end is with Cliff, and then the two units kind of just like met up together when they had their, What is this? Who brought Terrence Malick into this movie?
Yeah. Yeah, Malick just shows up. He's just shooting.
I'm here to do the bird shots.
I'll get the animals, guys. You guys. I mean, this is like great though. It's like you would think they would have this like shootout in like a city. Like they're
Oh
just in
no,
a
this is
field. There's in a
oh that's what
field.
I think it's like this is when like your location scouting comes to the best. It's like they
Mhm.
find this, this wide space. They're like, say, okay, we can get this to happen here. Now you have to have your stunt team kind of figure out what's going on. You got to block this thing up, and
Mhm.
they do it well. And then it's the mirror.
Yeah, we always work with that. We, what do you know? Bro, I'm on the same team as you, dude.
This is the
I also have,
first daughter of Treadstone, right?
yeah. Being like, you have no idea, man.
At his end, he's trying to find familiarity with the one person that he can't find familiarity,
Mm-hmm.
except he ain't remembering.
Because I mean, up to this point, like it's always been like, oh, there's gonna be cops here. Like, who else was with you?
Yeah,
I'm like, nah, dude. I'm like you, dude.
it's heartbreaking. And this is the narrative. This is the emotional juice right here.
Yeah.
And you need someone like Clive Owen, man.
Because him being like, damn, like now he's starting to realize, like, shit, like that guy was just me. I guess then you pull back the robotic stuff a little bit there, but he was like very robotic, like
With
watching
that running down
the kids running down the thing, like
yeah.
he blew up our friggin' gas tank. We gotta get the hell out of here. Because he's even in Supremacy and Ultimatum, like he's a little more like funny. Like
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, like
Oh yeah.
when he's like my
The
favorite
office
line is like,
scene.
"It's easy," or like when it's easy, she's standing right next to you. That's like my favorite line. Like,
Mine is oh, I'm in my office. Like if you're in your office, we would be having this conversation face to face. I'm like,
yeah,
bro, it's
or
called
like the
he's
at the
at
end of
the office. Turn around, turn around.
yeah, or at the end of Supremacy, he's like, "Get some rest, Pam. You look like he's always spying, and they all know that he's
Yep.
like that's his like type of humor."
It's like, Pam, you look tired.
She's like, "What?"
But and see, that's good dialogue.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know what good dialogue is, but you just kind of know it when you hear it, right?
Hmm.
So it's just like this blind search to find this poetry.
Well,
And
it's
it
like
ain't
that
gotta
'cause it's like even in Supremacy, like obviously we're watching Identity, but I'm going to talk about Supremacy. But just that whole scene of him on the rooftop, he's like, I could get this close to you guys. Like I'm having an entire conversation with you, and you're looking for me. And as I leave, it's easy. She's standing right next to you. Like I'm going to go over here. Like you guys
These the
can't find
first
me, but
three
I can find you.
movies, or actually all four of his movies are cat and mouse chases, but I think two
Hmm.
and three have the best chases. Because
Hmm.
in this one, it's the Cooper versus in this narrative, like plot A, plot B are a bit divided. But then they
Hmm.
really much come into play with, Pamela Landy and all that sort of stuff in the next two movies.
Hmm.
And I love it. I eat it up.
Yeah, this one's very more like, who is this guy? And then when you get to the second one, you're like, all right, I have the vibes. Let's
Yep.
go
Now
with
you're
it.
running. Now it's like you need to get through that narrative. Like, that's all, I wouldn't call it like just, yeah, it's like, it's kind of narrative mud where you're like, you
Hmm.
kind of got to get stuck in it a little bit. But it's not like this isn't compelling. This is fantastic work.
Hmm.
Have we heard Styles say like a single word in this movie? It feels like she's had
I think she
nothing
said
to
a couple
say.
things. She said a couple things, I think. And then she goes to the safe house, I think,
Oh
that they
man.
go to.
Brian Cox, you watched X-Men too, right? Growing up, I don't know if you did.
Hmm. And I remember him from Troy. I remember.
Yep. But I had X-Men too, and every time I watched that, he's still one of the best like comic book villains ever.
I mean, he
Him and
played.
Molina.
He's a very obviously everyone always thinks of Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal Lecter, but if you watch Michael Mann's
Oh,
Manhunter,
yep. Yep.
he's
Yep. Yep.
great in that. He's great as
Yep.
Hannibal Lecter in that. Yeah, he doesn't really have much. he's kind of just like here, like Brian Cox's character in this.
Yep. He's the
Obviously setting
antagonist
up
for
to be
that
like,
that B plot, yeah.
yeah, setting up for the next one because the other Chris Cooper's like assistant guys, he's in the second one because Brian Cox, spoiler, kills him in the second one.
Yep.
We need Chris Cooper back, man. What's he
Yeah, I
been in
know.
lately? I feel like I haven't seen him in so long.
I haven't seen him in much either. It feels like I see Bill Camp more
Was
in the
it?
sorts of
Was it?
roles that he takes.
Yeah, he probably took Bill's. I love Bill Camp, but he definitely like. I feel like he took those roles from
But
him.
it's not like there's not enough room.
Like
There's
Chris
plenty of
Cooper's
room
also.
for
I
a
think
white
he's in
man.
his. Yeah, that's true. Chris Cooper's like he's in his 70s now. He's got to be in his 70s.
Chris Cooper is probably here. Hold on. Bro said face east. I wouldn't
Face
even know
East.
which way. I wouldn't know
Yeah,
which way to point.
well, I'm gonna need a compass.
Chris Cooper is 72 years old.
Damn. What was the last thing he was in? Don't tell me it was Amazing Spider-Man movies. Did he retire from acting?
The Boston Strangler. The
He was in that with
yeah,
Keira Knightley.
apparently. Yep. I didn't see it,
I
but I
watched
heard
that.
some interesting things about it.
I watched that movie and I feel like I liked it, but I don't remember anything that happened in it. So clearly don't remember that he was in it.
Ah. The last thing I
But
saw him in was
love me some Keira Knightley.
it was Little Women. He was in it for a little bit.
Oh yeah, that's definitely he was the neighbor.
Yep. Yeah,
He's
that
like
and then
he's like Timothy Chalamet's like uncle? No.
yeah, something like that. Because he's in the Rogers movie, the Mr. Rogers movie. The forgot her name. She's the director. Her next movie is with Amy Adams, actually. It's like dog something. It's some sort of weird dog movie or
Oh,
something.
yeah, she made Can You Ever Forgive Me with
Yeah, yep.
yeah.
Marianne Heller. Yeah.
Marianne
There we
Heller,
go.
yeah. She's an actor too.
Her other half is one of the guys from Lonely Island. Gotta love the prep. I eat it up. Oh, good old Jason on a roof. You think Matt Damon just like
This
goes
would
up on
be
roofs? Just
this would
looking
be
people?
yeah, this would be CGI now, him looking over that.
Sadly. And I would just be like, guys, can we just go to a roof real quick? Please. Just get like
Yeah.
location scout. Please. Please. Producers, please.
He'd be like, yeah, I can see there's like 18 agents around, so you clearly didn't come alone. I mean, to be honest, I'd be like, Jason, did you honestly think I was gonna come alone, dude?
And I think now, if you made this sort of scene now, you could be more undercover. Like they could just have in AirPods.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, because they have you can clearly see he's got the earpiece in. Like
Not to keep bringing it up, but there's the show Person of Interest. They do deal with a bit of post Snowden stuff, and there's like there's a spy element there, and they have to like get off the grid in New York, which is like one of the most on the grid places with like security cameras and all that.
mm-hmm.
But that sort of context could definitely play into like a James Bond movie, which they try to do in Spectre a little bit, and they try to do it in Jason Bourne quite a bit, with that story. But it did not pan out well for either one, I think, honestly, because they have what was it, Scott? I forgot it's like Andrew Scott, the guy from like Moriarty from Sherlock. He's Inspector playing that. It's like, oh, we're trying to set up this world surveillance thing, Inspector. Does not work out. Doesn't work out for Jason Bourne either.
I need to rewatch Jason Bourne.
If this is a 5 out of 5, if this is a 10, that's 7. So it's not bad, but it's not amazing. Or it's an 8. I think I have it at an 8. No breaks.
It's like, what if I have to go to the bathroom? Well,
Pee
you're gonna have to
outside.
hold it.
Pee on the street. Pee on the street. Just pee on the street.
Well, what if I get hungry? I
You
guess
can
there's a
be
restaurant
hungry.
right there. I forgot how much like left is. I always feel like the movie ends at that field scene. Then I always
And
forget
that's
there's like another like 20 minutes.
20 minutes. That's why it's
Just get
like, I
some
think
dialogue.
narratively, like when you remember a movie, that's when you know like the pacing of it or whatever. It's just like, oh yeah, like movie
Yeah,
ends there in my head, technically.
yeah. I mean, they do have the cool when he's like, when they fight here, and then he like
Yeah.
jumps over the railing and he's shooting down. Like that's
Yep. It's been at
yeah.
least
I'm
a solid
curious
5 or
to
10 years since I've seen this part of the movie. I ain't gonna lie. It's been a minute. Because I always remember this. I'm like, oh, is this Blade Runner?
I'm curious to. I kind of want to read the books now. I'm curious to see how much different they are. Because I mean that, yeah, it's like depending on when those books are written, like you're gonna get different. I could see they probably were in the '90s, honestly.
I mean, like I told you, like from what I read, it felt like they were a bit more dry.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean they're not compelling. Obviously, when you have,
Yeah, it's
especially in
probably a
this sort of story,
dry, like a dry transition to a movie. It's probably a little dry. You're gonna have to like
punch it up.
punch it up. He's already here. Jesus Christ. It's Jason Bourne.
I was thinking more Scream, like he's already like,
Yeah.
you want to play
The
a
call is coming
game?
from inside the house. The call is coming from inside the house. What's your favorite action movie? That's what he calls.
It's Bourne Ultimatum.
We
That
haven't
one's
made
not
that
out
one
yet.
yet. We haven't made that one yet. Try again.
Bourne Supremacy. We're making that next.
We're on the set for that right now, but I need you to tell your
We just killed that woman. Now Carl Urban is a badass. Carl
I feel
Urban
like
has made his entire career playing a badass, and that's admirable.
yeah, I feel like Julia Stiles like doesn't do much in this movie, honestly.
She's Anna Paquin in The Irishman, just showing up and observing,
Yeah.
and then she's like, "Daddy, you bad."
Foreshadowing now the lighting's all red. I wonder what's gonna happen to Chris Cooper. He moved technically, so you should have shot him. He moved his arm. See, look at all the red lighting. Foreshadowing. Treadstone. My name is David Treadstone. But yeah, I guess you need this to be like, bro, you like work for
I
us,
love
like, and
this.
you're killing us, like, yeah,
This is what I'm saying. He has to deliver all this dialogue, this like exposition, right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
he
It's
does
all
it so
exposition.
brilliantly.
Yeah, like you're watching this, you're like, damn, he's out acting Matt Damon so hard in this scene.
Yeah.
Love you, Matt, but you're getting incredibly out acted right now.
Yep.
Yeah, like that's the thing with exposition. Like some people, like when I would take screenwriting classes in college for film, they'd be like, there's one professor, he's like, you never write down like what the audience can't see. And I always said it's like, but I mean, I feel like you need that in some aspects. It depends on how, again, like you're saying, how it's delivered. If it's
Yep.
delivered like this, you're engaged. But if it's like, this is what happens, Matt, we set you up in here and this is what you're supposed to do, like then you're like, all right, you're telling me the whole plot of the movie now. But now it's like, but this, it's like he's not even scared that Jason's there. Like he's
Oh yeah. No,
telling him
literally,
everything.
when he right before he said that, when he pushed him against the wall, like that frame, he literally like
Mhm.
smacks him back.
Yeah,
And I'm
smacks
just
the gun.
and
Like, yeah.
that's Gary being Gary. I mean, sorry, is it? Oh my God, Chris being
Chris.
Chris. And I heard that story. I think I told it to you that on the set of October Sky, Jake Gyllenhaal is supposed to be pissed, and he was just going, he's going 110%, and then Gary told him like, like stop doing all that, like just listen to me. And
Yeah.
then he's like, oh, now I'm actually pissed, and then he gives a good performance, and it's like
Yeah.
even a good actor knows how to be a director.
Just being like, just pull back a little bit. Like, you're kind of like, basically he was probably politely telling him you're overacting. Like, just pull back a
Yeah.
little bit. Wait a minute. I was supposed to kill him? But I guess that's some sort of the human emotion there, though. So I guess there is some. They kind of bring him back to being kind of a human at the end when he remembers, because he saw the children
I
there.
think the emotionality is more visceral in the next movie though, and
Oh
in
yeah.
Ultimatum.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. But I guess that's the point. It's like then he starts to turn on Treadstone, as in that's
Yeah.
what's going to make him more human.
Like I said, it's narrative mud, but it's mud that you want to go through.
And your close-ups, because it's like,
I
don't
love
shoot
this.
this
These are
wide.
great. Those are fantastic close-ups, man.
Yeah. That's what you need. Like, that conversations are just between them. You know exactly why it's between them.
And you
Because
see
there's
the
another
lighting.
character in this scene. There's another character in this scene. Like, some people would shoot it really wide, so they're all in it.
Yeah. This is confident blocking. That's what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. That's how that's just like in your mind, you're just like, oh no,
Yeah.
fuck.
I
And
love that
all
you
it
shot
was
him
is
straight
just
from
like
the
a
angle.
little pan downwards. That's all it was.
Yeah. Being like,
Finally.
someone here.
Now he's like, wait, hold up. There's another person in the room.
But that's what you do, like in that editing. People, I'm sure the audience would be like, I forgot she was in the room.
Yep.
Because that's the whole point. Like, this conversation is between them. He forgot she was in the room. Dude's got like a Colt 45.
Yeah. I love this. I love this.
When
Yeah.
he holds it upside down. That's the best part. It's when he like jumps over the ledge and he's like shooting down like that.
And I think
That's like a sound.
I think that I'm
Looks like
sure he went through gun training, and it's the same
Mhm.
thing where like Keanu Reeves is like holding a dude and reloading his shotgun, right?
Yeah.
Like it's that sort of thing where it's like they just, as actors they pick up some sort of juice, like, oh, I can do this. This looks fun.
Mhm.
It's a testament to like never stop trying to, find the sauce. Because you never know what you find. And I love how they just cut out all the music here. Like, we're
Mhm.
gonna run this just like this.
Right here, shoot, and then just boom. Headshot.
That
Oof.
might be the most amount of VFX they've used this entire movie.
Yeah. Just that one shot of him coming down.
Yeah. I will say that's a decision that Greengrass would have never made.
Yeah.
He
He
wouldn't
probably
have done
would
it.
have had him fight down the stairs. He probably would have had him fight down the stairs.
Yeah. Even Chris got the confident gun moves here.
Like, damn, he's already down there.
He went down like Batman Begins.
He's already
Except
gone. I
Batman
love how he
Begins
grabs
wasn't
his
even made
jacket
yet.
too. I love how he grabs his jacket too.
I can't wait for the Batman. That's
Yeah.
one of Killian's like best the line deliveries.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have a problem. I like it when actors go big.
But I love the play too. It's here. It's like you think this guy's coming to kill Jason,
Yeah.
but he's, spoiler alert, he's not. He's
and
coming
it's
to
like
kill.
that's like the
Chris Cooper.
it's like
It's all in
the
the editing.
heartlessness of the what do you call it? Of the
The
government,
agency.
of the CIA,
Treadstone.
their Treadstone.
Because they'd be like, you let that asset get away. You can't, like, you need to be done. Bro, he's dead, man. It's done. Classic. It's done. Shut it down. Yeah, Brian Cox doesn't even really speak that much in this movie, honestly. He's kind of just like there.
I don't know. He never really he finally got the juice at a very young, at a very old age. He got it with X2, but Succession is the one where it's like he really
Yeah.
had you by the
People
balls, I guess.
I feel like people now always be like, that's Succession, Brian Cox.
Nah, I've been watching Brian Cox since I was a kid. Always been a fan.
I'm saying like audiences in general.
Oh yeah, no. I understand. But it's like we've been rocking with this man forever.
Here's some more CGI.
You're right. Yep. I caught it right away.
Look at the railings. You can see how it's like bouncing. Could you see how it was like bouncing?
It's a depth of field thing. I don't know. It's like,
honestly, they're probably pickup shots, and like you can just tell. Like that stuff. Half the time, it's like whatever. Like you have to look at it the lens when the movie's made. It's like you can't like people are saying like this.
My
so
thing
bad.
is like,
is it like 2, dude?
Is it taking me fully out of the movie or something? No. You're supposed to just be hearing this dialogue, so it works.
Yeah. Is it distracting if you really look at it? Yeah, like if you really just sat there and kept watching that scene, you'd be like, you can easily tell. Like you can see the green screen they didn't even fix in some of the spots, but it's whatever. But it's probably like, it was a late pickup. I'm sure it was an audio. A studio note would be like, we need to have a shot of them. Like I need to see his face, so they had to go like, oh, let's get a reshoot. Like let's go down there.
But if they have the same level of CG in like an action scene, then that takes it out. Like,
yeah,
there's a shot in Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel where it just takes you out of the movie, bro.
Is this your store,
Mr. Bourne?
Yeah, a little hard to find. Remember me? I'm alive still.
How you like them apples, girl?
Yeah, you should have brought a bag of apples to her.
He just pops them on the counter.
Yeah.
What's up, girl?
Got apples. Now we need some Moby to end the movie. Yeah.
This is how you end a movie right here. You see how the shot's coming out? We're happy.
Yeah. And they're like, oh. Directed by Doug Liman.
This is how you doing.
Do they use it on the third one too? They use this.
Yeah, they do.
Same song.
Yep. Frank Marshall.
EP. Yeah, you probably. Damn, now this makes me want to watch Supremacy now.
Yeah, I know.
I might have to watch it.
So now we're watching Bourne Supremacy, guys. Stay on with us.
This podcast is hosted and edited by Pat Brennan. That's me, with intro and closing music by Patrick Baxter.